Jermaine, thank you. There's Mark Mathot with us tonight. Jeff O'Neill and Frankie Corrado will with you for the next half an hour or so. We'll have all sorts of interviews post-game and analysis as well. The Sens felt they deserved a better fate in the last two games that they lost in overtime. The Leafs might feel they deserved a better fate in this one out playing the Senators. But that's the playoffs, and it looks like the Battle of Ontario has some life. How did the Sens ultimately get it done?
Well, it's an overtime, right? And obviously on the losing end in the last two games. But I think for me at least, you could see the pace. You kind of mentioned it there, JD, in that overtime period where pace came down a little bit. Guys started to look tired. So you knew it was going to be a dirty goal, right? And I think it all starts in the offensive zone for Ottawa. When you take a look at this, Morgan Rielly with the puck here, there's a little bit of battle. Can't get a clean out right there. And Jake Sanderson just keeping it alive with Zetterlund and Carlo tangled up at net front. That creates a little bit of chaos in a screen, and Sanderson just throwing it at the net. And if you pay attention throughout the first three games, Ottawa was not good at getting the puck there. So I think for me, Jake Sanderson, no surprise, had a terrific year with Ottawa. He's the hero tonight. Big win for Ottawa going into the next game now.
There's been incredible examples in the last couple of days of teams staying alive. And the Ottawa Senators, this obviously would have been more ideal if it happened in the last game, James. But they've given themselves a chance and the right to feel good about themselves and plant that seed. It's not 3-0 anymore. It's 3-1. And now for 2 days for the Toronto Maple Leafs, everyone's going to be saying, oh, you had a 3-1 lead against the Montreal Canadiens. There's a couple days between games here, and they're going to have to stew on it and chew on it. But I give the Ottawa Senators a ton of credit because the mental hurdle, I talked about it after the last game, it would have been so difficult to just feel pumped up for this game because you know what's ahead of you. And to accomplish this goal is going to be so difficult, but they found a way to get it done tonight.
Well, and they get it done because they get a massive penalty kill in overtime. And with the way things had gone in this series, you look at the Senators' penalty kill, 44% coming into today's game. That is nowhere near good enough. And the Leafs' power play had at least one goal in every single game. And you get into overtime, a critical situation, a player who has made a number of mistakes in this series already, and Drake Batherson takes a double minor, and now your penalty kill has to go to work. And the penalty kill did a great job in this game, 4 for 4. And when it mattered most, you got the kill. And not a lot of people watching this would have thought that the Ottawa Senators would have been able to get through, as considering how much the Leafs power play was cooking. Yes, you didn't have John Tavares at the time because he had gone to the dressing room, but you still have a lot of firepower there, and you still have to get the job done. Everyone that was on the ice for the Ottawa Senators, goaltender, players included, they dug in, they got a massive penalty kill, and it helps them get a win.
And guys, we were talking the whole game how the Ottawa Senators, they didn't really get to a dominating part of the game where they controlled the play. So now they have that confidence, a little bit of it, to say, you know what, we've bought ourselves some time to bring our A game the next one in Toronto. They've got certain individuals that have a lot of room to step up and play better. Maybe that can happen for the next game.
A lot of very happy people in Ottawa tonight, but you mentioned, Frankie, nobody happier than Drake Batherson, who the giveaway to Domi in overtime takes a bad penalty, it leads to a goal in the last game. And if he was in the box for a series sweep, that would have been devastating. We have, again, all sorts of post-game reactions, starting with Leafs goaltender Anthony Stolarz.
Time goal.
Just threw the puck in the net. I just picked up a little late. Just try to get there and fight through the screen.
What can the team take away from the game tonight?
I thought we played a hell of a game. Just being able to battle back from 2-0, 3-2. I thought we had a lot of chances in overtime. So, I kind of liked where our game's at. It boils down to just making one more save on my end. But, all in all, I thought it was a really good effort by the guys tonight.
What's the key now heading into Game 5 back home? What's the right mindset for you guys?
Just keep doing what we're doing. Like I said, I thought we played a really good game tonight. Thought, we were boxing out really well. We were getting pucks in, kind of going low to high on them. So, I just think we continue that recipe, we'll have success.
We'll ask you, what's your perspective on Nick Cousins floating a couple pucks too during warm-up?
I didn't even notice, to be honest with you. Yeah, so it's just one of those things. Obviously, I know Cuzzy, played with him a number of years, so I'm sure he didn't mean any malicious intent by it.
Have you guys talked at all during the series? How have you felt? This is 4 games in 7 days, 3 straight overtime games. How physical is it?
I feel fine. Yeah, I feel fine. It's part of being an athlete, part of training is what you train for. So we have those rest days in between. We'll get an extra day here, so use that to recuperate. But we'll get a nice practice in, and we'll be hungry for Game 5.
What is your perspective on the play Nyes made to score there?
Yeah, I mean it's a good goal. He's crafty. He's got a lot of skill, and for him just to be able to put on the jets there and on that breakaway and get going.
We're still waiting on Senators for now. Oliver Ekman-Larsson.
I think obviously we had a lot of chances. Had a power play that we could have done some damage, but they killed it off. But overall, I thought other than the first period, second and third, and even in overtime, I thought we were going.
What did you make of Matthew Nice's goal?
It's nice. He works really hard. He's fast, he's strong, got some hands on him, so it's hard to defend against him. But yeah, he's been good all year.
What do you see on your goal and the setup from William?
Yeah, I know that Willie's type of player that can make those passes, so I don't really have to say anything. I just snuck in there on the back door and shot it right away, so that was a nice pass.
Feeling heading home for the group?
No, I think obviously we knew it was going to be tough coming in here. Got one win, the first one, and yeah, played a good game. The last two periods and overtime, I felt like I said. So some stuff that we did really well, some stuff that we have to clean up as always. So no, I like our spot here coming home.
What is the top of the list that needs to be cleaned up, Oliver, for Game 5?
Yeah, I don't want to give away too much, obviously. But yeah, I think we did a lot of good things. So I'm going to leave it at that.
How much did you say?
On the hit on tomorrow's overtime?
You know what? I didn't see it, so I can't comment about that one. But saw that he laid down, so but I didn't see the hit.
How much did you sense an extra layer of desperation from their side tonight?
Yeah, I mean they pushed in the first. They came out hard. Obviously scored 2 goals and we came back. So that's something positive that we bring home with us and take away from that game. Battle back twice, so it's good. But yeah, I mean they're a desperate team. We're a desperate team. So that's how it is in the playoffs.
Thank you, Oliver. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Playoff win for Senators captain Brady Tkachuk.
Our kill stepped up absolutely when we needed them in a do-or-die situation. What a kill. I mean, always your most important killer is the goalie, and Ollie made some absolutely unbelievable saves to keep us in that one. And you know what, we're definitely going to enjoy this one, but we know what's coming. We know it's going to be biggest, hardest game coming up in a couple days, and we know we're going to expect their absolute best, and we're going to be at our best to give ourselves a chance to win.
Brady, is there any way you can describe what you saw or how you felt when Jake Sanderson scored that overtime goal?
I think I was coming off a long shift, so I was gathering myself, and then saw it go in, and just a relief. I mean, just what a goal, what a timely goal. I honestly can't even really describe the feeling. It happened so fast, and to do in front of this unbelievable fan base that's sticking with us and this hard road ahead of us, it was a special moment.
How was it for you? 3 overtimes in a row. What was the message going into this overtime?
Just, I think we didn't really put an emphasis on whenever we had a look, shoot the puck, and we made that an emphasis that no matter where you are on the ice, if you have a look at it, you shoot and either cause havoc or like Sandy, you shoot from the boards and it goes in, and there's great traffic in front. So that was our emphasis, and a little bit different from the previous overtimes.
We know you just stepped off the ice. How's it been for you processing the emotions of that overtime?
Well, I mean, I think it's just the do or die situation. I mean, if we're not playing at our best, then we're going home. So for us to find a way and kind of an up and down game with momentum swings, and to be able to hang on and take care of business this overtime, and it definitely feels good, but gonna have to move on and focus on the next one.
Brady, what did your group show tonight? We all know the hole you're in, but what did the group show?
I think resilience. Going up 2 and then they come back and tie it. Then they tie late in the third, and I think it's easy to crack under pressure, especially the situation that we're in and the road that we're in. But I think it shows the resilience, the care, the character in this room that we'll do whatever it takes to win, and whether you're mentally, physically, emotionally tired, it's no matter what, you'll just do whatever it takes to win.
How does your mind?
He's talked endlessly about how he's waited his entire life to be in the Stanley Cup playoffs, and if he were to go out in a sweep, the disappointment for him would have been monumental. So a huge win for the Ottawa Senators, and he talked about that kill that Frankie talked about in overtime, which was obviously massive, TSN Turning Point copyright. But this has been a close series that if you were to point out one thing which was lopsided, it would be special teams, where the Leafs came in 5 for 9 on the power play. So what did it mean for the Sens not only to get a power play goal themselves early, but then to get a shorty?
Well, outside of the Sens' dreadful penalty kill throughout the regular season, hasn't been good, but their power play has been one of their bright spots for the most part, right? So, I mean, you see what happens in that first period. Max Domi takes the penalty right off the draw, and this is where everything happens for Ottawa. And it works out, and this is a timely goal. They got on the board first here on this play. So Domi takes the penalty, and it's just a beautiful one-timer from Tim Stutzle. But to create that, and then you look later on, the Sens are on the kill, and it's Shane Pinto. Great job there on that read. Capitalizes on that. So between Pinto and Stutzle, there you have two core guys on this team that get their first of the series. Mm-hmm. For Tim Stutzle, I think more importantly for me, I mean, here's one of your star guys. He finally gets on the board, can build a little confidence. I know they're down 3-1, but I mean, if I'm looking at this is a huge win for this team, right? You got a couple guys now that get their first of the series. Tim Stutzle can build some confidence. You got a 2-day break. This bodes well for the Ottawa Senators.
And Brady Tkachuk said it best when he said your best penalty killer has to be your goaltender. And maybe Ullmark just gathers some steam off of this, because I'm sure Matthew would agree with everyone in Ottawa. When he's dialed in, he gets his team an excellent chance to win. And he was much talked about in the first couple of games. Is he going to get to his A game? Can he find it? But there's some weird things that happened in a game that can help a team. John Tavares goes out, and he's not able to go on the ice for that 4 minutes of the power play for the Maple Leafs in overtime, and they get the job done. That power play's been cooking. Whether you like the 5 forwards or not, they've been getting the job done. He exits the ice, and they don't score with 4 minutes in overtime, where we all said it's probably over right now.
And one of the things the Ottawa Senators haven't done a lot of in this series, they haven't played with a lead. Yeah. Like, Toronto has had the lead early in these games, and that changes the complexion of the game, because all of a sudden now you don't have to chase it and you force the other team to maybe open things up. Well, the Ottawa Senators, they had the lead, and I understand that they give it up, but still, you're making Toronto have to climb back into the game, and ultimately, like, you have a little more firepower in your pocket that you get the overtime winner. So the Ottawa Senators, they were facing a 3-0 deficit. They give up a lead in this game. It would have been easy for them to say, that's all we got, and we're done, and we go away. They stuck with it, and it started with them getting a lead.
It's easy for the coach to go back to the players with his message, because we heard Travis Green in the media saying, I like our game. I think we're right there. And with a couple overtime games, you are right there. Other than game one, you got blown out in game one, but the other ones are all overtime. Now we can be confident going in front of his team saying, I told you guys the tide would turn. It is one game, but just keep doing what you're doing. Here's the overtime winner, and it just goes back to Sanderson. And same as the other night, it goes back to a D-man and just get it on net with traffic there, and you might get some results. In overtime, Matthew mentioned it, everything slowed down. There was not a lot of solid plays, skill plays, and this is the way the last game ended, and the same thing tonight.
Listen, Linus Ullmark had 3 games already in this series where he's like below an .850 save percentage. He had his night. Like, he had a really good night. The Ottawa Senators had to find a way to get to Anthony Stolarz and get him going into the dressing room not feeling great about his game, because Stolarz has felt really good. He's felt comfortable. The Ottawa Senators maybe made him feel a little bit uncomfortable going back into the room after that.
Right. You're going to feel good no matter how you win a game like this when you're facing elimination or whether you're in hold. There's a different way to do it. Like St. Louis pounded Winnipeg the other night, so they get confidence. But I think you're right, Frankie, in the sense that character-building win, you blow a 2-0 lead, a lot of people are probably saying, okay, the Leafs are going to win this. Then when the Leafs tie it late, a lot of people are saying, the Leafs are going to win this next.
Then they get a 4-minute power play.
The Leafs are going to win. You overcome all those things, and you win. Let's hear from the overtime hero, Jake Sanderson.
Man, probably number one. Pretty cool. Just, crazy atmosphere again, so it's pretty awesome.
How did you create that chance?
Honestly, just came off the bench and saw the puck was, about to get out of the zone, so I just hurried, and guy was on me. I just threw it to the net, and there's traffic, and I didn't see it.
What was the mindset knowing you guys were playing in your third straight overtime?
Yeah, just keep our foot on the pedal. I think, having that big kill in overtime there, the 4 minutes, I think that just created momentum for us, created positivity, and, it worked out tonight.
What was it like for you processing the gamut of emotions that normally would run through an overtime such as tonight?
Yeah, it's a lot, especially, your third straight one in a row. So, you got to, mentally strong, and I think, everybody on our team was tonight.
What happened on their second goal? Felt like you and Artem kind of hesitated and nice and go alone on.
Yeah, we got to communicate better. I think puck just squirted out in between us, and there wasn't a lot of talking. So, we'll clean that up.
Was scoring that goal, did you feel like you had to make up for it a little bit, or?
No, I just want to win the game.
What was the celebration like with all your teammates coming around you in the dog pile?
Yeah, it was awesome. Especially just ending up on the glass there and, turning to them all so excited. But, I feel like we'll enjoy this for a little bit tonight, but, shift our focus onto the next game pretty quick here.
What have you learned about playoff hockey through 4 games? You're a young guy in the league.
It's fast. There's not a lot of room to make plays out there, and I think just the little details add up throughout the game for sure.
Jake, what was your takeaway of the way Linus played tonight?
He was awesome. He's played awesome all series, so he's the backbone to our team, and we count on him every single night to bring it, and he does.
What does it do for the confidence of this group to have a win now in the playoffs?
Yeah, it's big. We're just focusing on one game at a time right now, and that next game, Game 5, is a big one, so we'll be ready.
What did you learn about that hostile environment in Toronto?
Yeah, I feel like we're kind of used to it. Obviously going to Montreal and Toronto, 2 close places and rivals, so nothing really new to us.
Jake, have you ever had this feeling of exhaustion this bad?
No, I'm not exhausted. Let's keep going.
What'd you think about
All right, let's hear from the Leafs' Matthew Nice.
I think our special teams could have been a little bit better. In overtime, it's going to be a bounce and a dirty goal, and that's went their way this tonight. So.
How much did the absence of Stolarz on that power play in overtime influence things?
Yeah, Mo stepped up and did a great job there. But yeah, we've been kind of solid, and we've been with them for a while now. So. Yeah, we were missing a piece there, but I think Mo stepped up, and I think we had some good chances. I just think we need to, put it in the back of the net when we get those.
Were you surprised there was no call on the hit John took there in overtime?
Honestly, I haven't seen it. I haven't looked at it yet, but so I can't speak on it.
What's the mood of the team heading home?
We put ourselves in a great spot here, so yeah, on to the next one. We're gonna look at what we can do better, and it's been close games. 3 overtimes. It's great hockey out there. I'm sure it's fun to watch, and. So we're just excited to get back after it and move on here.
Could you sense extra desperation from them in this game tonight compared to maybe some of the others?
Yeah, for sure. I felt that like almost all game. I feel like that's going to come up. Obviously, they're fighting for their lives here, and we just got to find a way to finish the full 60, and then kind of capitalize in the overtime as well.
What did you see on your goal?
Yeah, I think I saw that the D were kind of talking there. I think they miscommunicated a little bit on who's going to go there, so I thought I'd jump and just poke it ahead of them because I thought I had more speed, and just try to put it upstairs on them.
That was a long shift for you. How much gas did you have left in the tank as you were driving down?
With the adrenaline of a possible breakaway, a lot of energy for sure.
Influenced at all by Mitch's breakaway earlier in the series with the move?
Gosh, I can't even remember that, to be honest. It's been
kind of flipped it up.
Yeah, I just try to get it upstairs and kind of bait him one way, and it worked out.
What does it mean to have a chance to close out a series at home? Obviously, that's something this group hasn't done.
Yeah, I said it already, but we put ourselves in such a great spot that we just got to follow through with it. We're just excited to get another opportunity and bring it back home as well.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
So if you're able to take a step back and you're the Toronto Maple Leafs, you did exactly what you're supposed to do. You win the 2 at home, you get the split on the road, you're in perfect position. You have 3 more chances to win this series. knowing the history of the Leafs, does that no, I'm not going to do it. Does that play into
I got
it?
a smile on meth right
Is
now.
there any seed of doubt planted?
What they got an opportunity to do is to really prove that things are different this year, because that's all we've heard through 4 games is this is a different Maple Leaf team. Their approach is different. The way they play is different. The way they're playing tight hockey games, the way they get it done in overtime, everything's been falling their way. And now they've had a setback where they don't get it done in Game 4. Where a quality team with killer instincts that win the division, they usually win this game and say, you know what, now it's time to rest and gear up for the next opponent. So now it's time to prove to everybody that things are different and not let this seep into Game 5 and say, Ottawa's got life and there's a real opportunity for them to go back home. So it's a real opportunity for them to prove it.
1 for 12. You guys know what that number is? That's the Leafs' record in series-clinching games since 2018. Like, this has been an
Why'd
issue
you go
for...
there, Frankie? You know you're going to make him cry. You're going to make him cry on the set.
What, did Meth hand you a piece of paper?
I'm not saying
Meth got in my ear telepathically, and he said, you got to say this because you are going to piss off the O-Dog. No, this is a thing. We have to talk about it. Like, they have a chance to have that killer instinct and put them away. But I will say this. They didn't get the job done. They're down 2-0 in the game. They come back. They tie it up. They send it to overtime. So, I mean, like, there is signs of it still in a one-game situation, still looking and feeling different for the Toronto Maple Leafs, but it can't snowball now. It can't turn into the Ottawa Senators all of a sudden have this newfound life. They come into your building, they steal one there. Now, all of a sudden, that conversation that we just had, it snowballs and that heats up a little bit more. That's what the Leafs have to find a way to avoid.
Just watching it, and I would love to lump in on them right now, but I can't do it. Like, this is a different Leafs team that I'm watching. You know, like, and we talked about it a little bit in the back where just defensively what Berube's done here, like when I'm looking at that back end right now, there's no panic. Like they're blocking shots in the right position. They're like wily vets. They're strong. They're not giving up middle ice. I don't see any reason to panic just yet. Sure, if the next game gets dropped, then we can have that conversation. But so far, I mean, you're still in the driver's seat.
Well, you ain't coming back, so don't worry.
O-Dog praising the Senators. Meth saying he's not doubting the Leafs. You guys have really grown up right in front of our eyes. Let's hear from the Leafs coach, Craig Berube.
No, I don't think there's any concern. He came back. You know, he had to go off for a while. You know, which at the time we got a power play. He's not out there, but it is what it is.
Like, how did you assess the team tonight? Like, what did you see as the difference in this one?
Well, I think special teams. We gave up a PP goal for them and a shorty against our PP, and we had the opportunities with the 4-minute in overtime. Didn't get it done.
What did you see? Obviously, the Tavares absence throws a wrench into the power play. Just in general, what are you seeing from the group in that moment?
Well, no, I mean, we had some looks. We had some good looks. I mean, Matthews hit the post and hit some good looks. Didn't go in. I mean, I'm not going to look at it too much. Didn't get a bounce. Could have ended it. Hit a post. You know, we had a couple other good opportunities. Yeah, I mean, JT's very good on the PP for us. You know, obviously, but we had our looks.
Craig, the Blues probably be thinking that maybe they planted a seed of doubt in you guys being up 3-0 and now 3-1, and this team historically, the core of players that have been here have had trouble closing out series. How do you combat, say, ghosts?
Well, I don't think that was the case tonight. I thought our team played extremely hard, did a lot of great things. You know, we gave up 4 shots in 2 periods. I mean, I thought we defended hard, played hard. You know, I mean, you got to, you know, bounces go one way or another. I'm not too concerned about it. I thought our team was ready to go. Did a lot of good things tonight. Didn't work out.
What did you make of Stolarz tonight?
He was solid. That last goal, he can't see anything there. I mean, there's a lot of people in front of him on that shot, so he made a lot of good saves for us. I thought he was comfortable, played well, you know. I'm not concerned about Stolarz.
Another goal from your defense tonight. What are you seeing from the group of blue liners that's allowing them to generate more?
Well, you know, they're shooting a puck and they're activating. I think we're doing a good job with that and getting pucks to the net, right? So, you know, it was a great pass from Willie, but we're in a good set there, and it was a good finish. So, you know, our D are doing a good job with that aspect of the game. They're playing well, defending hard, defending well, and helping us on the score sheet too. Thanks.
And we still await Ottawa Senators coach Travis Green at the podium. So what does it mean for the Sens? I think it will take one more win before we can say this is officially a series and the Leafs' doubts can really be planted. But if it had gone the other way on that power play in overtime, I mean, how important was it for the Sens after this season and getting back to the playoffs to avoid a sweep?
It is important because, listen, the goal for the Ottawa Senators was make the playoffs. Now you got there. You can't just say, you know, it's house money, there's no pressure, we're just happy to be there. No one in that locker room was under the pretenses that that was the case. Like, there is pressure to perform, even though you got there, you know, like you're the younger team in that situation. But you could look at it two ways. You could say if the Sens got swept, that would leave a bad taste in their mouth all summer, and they would be so pissed off, and they would come back to training camp, and it's like, that is a team that is back and ready to prove something. But now you get a win. So you can't have this thing where it's like, we're just happy to get the win, and now you're still going to go away. Because whether it was 4 or 5, you still have to have that same mentality as a group that pushes things forward a little bit more. Always looking for more, and the Ottawa Senators got a little bit more. And they get an overtime win in a series where they've lost twice already in overtime. Like, you can't lose 3 overtime games and expect to win a series. It's hard enough losing 2 in a series.
It's just good for everyone in the organization, including the fan base, that you picked one off here and you've given yourself hope that you can continue the series. Because ultimately, if you do get smoked 4 straight, James, the whole organization is saying, oh, it's great we made the playoffs, but the end of the line, it seems so far away. It's like we're a playoff team, but the teams that are competing for the Stanley Cup are that much better than us, and there's that much further to go.
And again, that might drastically affect the way they approach the offseason too, right? That might sound ridiculous, but just the difference between getting swept to your arch rival in Ontario versus maybe stealing a couple games, to me, makes a big difference. Now, they still have their warts. We know it's a raw team, and it shows in their play. But I think ultimately, you know, you get a couple wins here, you feel a little bit better about yourself. You guys saw Anlauer after the game with a big smile on his face. It's a huge win for the city right now.
They're close, though, James. I mean, you're talking about they got smoked in game 1, and then every time it's overtime, it's a break, it's a bounce.
I agree, but even if it was 3 straight overtime losses, I think a sweep would have been devastating. And I was asking you while we were watching the game, would this be a successful season for the Sens if they got swept? And yes, probably the bottom line answer is yes, because they're back in the playoffs. But these aren't the Habs.
No.
Right? They're further along. Their core is older. And so their window is shorter. So you can't just call it a success just because they're there. They only have a 3-4 year window here to make some noise in the playoffs.
And it takes heat off the players. Like, we can't forget, both fan bases absolutely hate each other. I mean, I don't know how much time you guys spend online, but it's not very pleasant.
Not as much as you.
So, not as much as me. And that's fair. And I'll take my lumps here. But I just think, I mean, just for the fans' point of view, like, to me, this was a win for them tonight. And I'm very happy for them. So
you're going to be DMing all those Leaf fans that are usually in your
I follow a bunch of guys now. We've got a good relationship. We're good.
So, you know what you're going to hear the next couple of days? All the pressure's now on the Leafs. And I wonder, as all 3 guys who played in the league, if you really feel that, because I also don't buy that there's no pressure on the Sens anymore. They still want to win. And going out in 5 isn't that great compared to going out in 4. So do you agree with that the pressure has shifted here, or is it still equal?
Well, short answer for me, I don't think it means anything. I mean, when you're talking about pressure, and we were talking about it a little bit during the break, pressure is, you know, when you're heading out there for overtime and maybe potentially getting scored on or being the hero, but you're approaching every game as it's one game. You know, you're not really thinking that further ahead. I don't know how you guys felt when you played, but from my perspective, I never really felt it in the playoffs.
You got to find some excitement in what the opportunity that lies ahead. The Toronto Maple Leafs get the opportunity to go home and try to wrap up a series in front of their home fans. And instead of feeling that pressure of, like we talked about it in the past, one of the Leafy things is their approach to the playoffs with a negative thought process where it's like, oh, what if something goes wrong here? Feel good about yourself and have your best game in front of your home fans.
I don't think they're going to feel that way, though. Like Meth said it earlier, I don't think the Leafs are going to be all of a sudden, oh, no, we've had these situations.
I think they have a belief now that they have a recipe and their approach to the game is tight checking and box out in front of your net, and your good players can come up in big moments, and you're always going to have a chance to win.
But if they drop next game, like
different.
It also depends in a playoff series. Did you beat the other team, or did the other team beat itself? Because there's a difference between the two. Because if you truly beat the other team, you have the blueprint, you have the recipe, you can replicate it.
You know what to attack.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And if the other team beat themselves, you're almost going into it hoping, well, will they puke it up again? Like, can we find a way to
What
make them...
You're saying in this series, the Leafs have...
I think the Leafs have found a way to beat the Ottawa Senators based
fair.
on special teams, based on the way they're playing away from the puck. It does look different. You watch Toronto play in these playoffs, it doesn't feel like there's one player kind of on his own fighting his own battle. There's multiple Leaf jerseys around. Like, it's clogged up. It does feel different. Now you have an opportunity to finish things off and really make it feel different.
Big contributions and first playoff goals tonight from Tim Stutzle and David Perron, who are at the podium.
For Tim, just your reaction to winning your first game in overtime and what you saw on Jake Sanderson's play. What went through your mind?
Yeah, feels great. Obviously, great for our group. I think gives us a lot of confidence winning an OT there. And great shot by Sandy, just throwing it to the net, and Z was right in front. So got in his eyes, and that's what we wanted.
You also talked about how you were getting a lot of chances, but nothing was going in. How good did it feel for you to get the goal to start things off?
Yeah, felt good. I think it was good to get a power play goal. I don't think our power play was good enough. Their power play was better than ours, so it was good to get that one, and great penalty kill there at the end by the guys.
David, we know everyone knows the hill you guys have to climb, but what did this group show tonight?
Yeah, just resilience. It was exciting to play again, find a way to get the win. I think now we move on, and we try and kind of just keep building our game, keep building a little bit of pressure over there, and it's going to be the hardest game for sure. It's going to be a really hard game next one.
Tim, what do you think you guys changed about your game in overtime that allowed you to generate a lot more shots as opposed to in the second and third period?
Yeah, we wanted to throw everything on the net. I mean, you see one of those goes in, for them the same thing, and we just want to throw more pucks on the net, and felt like if we can get in his eyes, make it harder for him, and we got some good looks there, and it felt great to win that one.
Tim, you've seen Jake Sanderson basically ever since he's been on this team, and through this year, he mentioned that he probably thought his start to the year wasn't as great, but he's pushed his way along and he gets himself to 4 Nations. What's it been like from your vantage point, seeing Jake Sanderson take a step this year?
Yeah, I always knew how good of a player he's going to be, and obviously it's hard. I mean, he's matched up against the top guys every night, and you don't feel great every night, but I think he's done a really good job taking care of his body. He's a really good pro, and I kind of look up to him in certain ways, and he just gets better. I said it before, I think he's just a special player, and he's going to get even better as he gets older, and he's fun to watch, so I love having him on our team.
The best defenseman in the world.
Yeah, you guys want me to say something, right?
Number one after the goal tonight.
No, I told you guys I believe he can be a top 2 D-man in the league, and I really believe that. Otherwise, I wouldn't say it. And he's just overall, he does it all, offensively, defensively, and it's pretty impressive to watch.
Just over to your right here, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, David. What can you say about your penalty kill, where you not only do you get a shorthanded goal, but those 4 minutes? I mean, just the job that they did.
4 long minutes when you're just sitting there watching. They did a heck of a job. I mean, Toronto's had their way a little bit since the start on the special teams, and it was nice that they came through for us. And usually when those moments happen, I feel like you find a way to win the game for them, and it was nice.
David, that game was a roller coaster ride.
Yeah.
You kept taking the lead, they kept coming back, third period. What was the mindset going to overtime?
It's a classic playoff game, I think the mindset was definitely some emphasis on putting more pucks on net, maybe than previous overtime. Maybe, I don't know, we kind of got settled into the overtime a little bit, where the other 2 were a little bit quicker. The guys did a good job.
Back over to your left there for AJ.
Yeah, Tim, just when the season's on the line like that and you're getting some of those big saves down the stretch, third period and overtime, how much confidence do you have when you're getting those saves from Linus?
Yeah, I mean, we have all the confidence in the world in him. I know some of you guys weren't too happy with the way he played, but we have all the confidence in him. It's not just a goalie; it's all the players in front of him. And yeah, he won a Vezina. He's really calm, and yeah, we're lucky to have him. And I think he played a great game again tonight.
David, it seems like this young core has dealt with more important firsts as this series has gone on.
Yeah.
From your vantage point, how do you think the younger players in the team handled the most pressure-filled game and period of their career so far?
Yeah, it's going to keep building up. That's what it's all about. You got to go through the experience a little bit, and it's nice that we're able to kind of start building our game. And even like talking about Timmy, Sandy, all those guys, I've been so impressed with their commitment to wanting to win, wanting to get better on the team aspect, on the individual aspect. I'm just thankful to be part of it.
So that's good for English questions. We'll let Timmy go, and then we can switch over. Unless you want to do some German.
No German, eh?
Okay. We'll do DP.
You know, Anthony Stolarz, before the series started, said it would be a bloodbath. And there's been blood, mostly from high sticks, but it has not been a bloodbath. It's not been the Battle of Ontario that we remember from the past, and yet we've had 3 overtime games. So it's been terrific as far as drama and entertainment. But are you surprised at all that it has not had maybe the grit, or is that just modern hockey and the 2 teams involved?
Well, I mean, I certainly am. You heard Stolarz. I mean, he was talking a big game about it too, and I don't blame him for that, of course, because we all know about the history between these 2 teams. But I just expected more net front stuff, more drama to talk about. I don't know. I think the games have been terrific. The hockey itself has been excellent. But I don't know. I think a little bit more rough stuff. Do
you think all the penalties the Sens took in Game 1 and all the Leafs power play goals kind of neutered the Sens and neutered some of that?
I think it took away a lot of that from the series, James, because both coaches are like, okay, guys, the party's over, because the refs are going to start taking one guy and not 2, so you don't want to be the guy on the other end. And it doesn't seem like you need that counter personality where it's Anderson in Montreal that goes after Wilson and goes in the bench. I don't know who that is. And Brady Tkachuk seems like he's got to be focused on playing and creating offense as opposed to punching people in the face. Yeah. It just hasn't really materialized in this series.
You know, you bring up Brady, and everyone would have looked to him and said, well, that's the guy. He's the guy that's going to run Morgan Riley. He's the guy that's going to get in Anthony Stolarz' face. But he only has so much capacity to go around, and we know he's not quite 100%. So he has to have all his focus on, I need to be able to contribute with the puck, playing the game. And you see Brady, he's still running around. He threw a big hit in overtime. Like, he's still bringing that intangible to the table, but it's not what we've seen from Matthew in years past in the playoffs. It's not what we saw from Brady at the Four Nations, because he can only do so much with where he's at right now.
Right, and I think, having this discussion, credit the Leafs. Like playing that kind of hockey doesn't benefit the Toronto Maple Leafs, right? Maybe Ottawa, you can try to create a little disruption in front of Stolarz or whatever, drag some guys in the box. But I don't get that sense from Toronto, and they're playing, like, this is working for them. Now, I know some of the games have been very tight, but I don't know that they benefit from that type of hockey. So they're going to try to keep it out of the box, keep it 5-on-5, maybe some power plays. That works in their favor.
Is there heat on anyone for Game 5, either side? Is it time for Austin Matthews or Mitch Marner to come up big again? It's not like they've been good in the series, but is there pressure on anyone in particular in Game 5?
You know what? I was watching William Nylander in Game 3 and 4, and there was moments in the game where I'm like, he doesn't have his A stuff, and then he goes ahead and gets 2 assists tonight. So it's like, you can't point to him. It's just one of those games, James, where both coaches are going to say, continue to do what you're doing, and you're going to have a chance to win, and it's going to be a break at the end. I don't know if there's one guy that needs to step up. Obviously, on the Ottawa side, there's a bunch of guys that could step up, but all the key players, plus, have done that for the Leafs.
It's an interesting series because it's a tight series, but it's not an overly passionate or overly physical series. So, like the Matthews line, we haven't really seen them, like, really take over the game, dominate at 5-on-5. Everyone's gotten their cookies on the power play, but we haven't seen that night where it's like those guys were dancing and they were just too much to stop, because the Pinto line, when you get that hard match, they do a good job. Like, this series, it's more of a chess match than anything else at this point. So if that line can find a way to really get cooking, that's one of those things you look at and say that's different than what we've seen.
If you tuned in halfway through this, if you're watching the game on the other channel, the entire analysis that we just did, 35 minutes strong, will be posted on YouTube. Again, O-Dog is contemplating only doing YouTube from now on and just becoming a YouTube creator. So please watch just to support him and his channel.